Greetings and a warm welcome along to you. This is Chris Reardon with you. United Kingdom Talk, 1 hour of a little bit of a conversation with you, my dear, dear friends and loyal listeners and viewers. First of all, I forgot a birthday. Can you believe I forgot a birthday? Not only did I forget a birthday, it's worse than that. I forgot a family birthday. Is this microphone in the way? I've just realised that's quite high up today, isn't it? There we are. Let me get that out of the way. I suddenly realised I was talking to this large black object in front of me. There we are, that's better. It's out of the way. So, and can you believe I have forgotten, she'll never forgive me, you know, my sister's birthday. Well, I didn't actually forget. I just forgot to mention it on here, you know. Didn't forget it completely, just forgot to mention it on here. I did, of course, send my dear, dear sister a little something for her birthday, a little bit of cash to spend. Didn't you, sis? You got your cash now, darling. Happy birthday to you. You see, I mean, it's pointless, really. You would think members of your own family would join in with the show and would be there, poised on the edge of her chair, waiting each and every day that a new show came out. But no. She relies on her dear husband, Martin, to inform her of what was going on in the show. Martin, who's my sister's husband, I know he doesn't get many mentions, but he is a regular viewer and listener to the show. And if there's anything I say that might be derogatory, he only too happily tells my sister. And I would be the last thing, Sharon. I really would be. I'm sure she'll watch this part of it. I would be the last thing ever to say anything bad about you. I really would, my darling. However, I must sing happy birthday to you now. Is that a bit loud? Just a minute. Oh, what have I done here? Have I made an error? Just a minute. I might have done something wrong here. Let me see what that does. Oh, no, not that one. Hang on. Oh, that's the one. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought I was coming across a little bit loud then. Let's try that now. That'll do. Right, sorry. Just getting all the levels wrong. Right, here we go then. For you, dear sister, it's your brother singing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sister Sharon. Happy birthday to you. You couldn't do that if you were smoking, all right? Happy birthday, sis. I'm sorry I didn't sing you happy birthday on Saturday's show. Not that you would have known anyway, because you're not a regular viewer, are you, my darling? Unlike lots of other people here, hello to you once again. There is an email to the show. If you want to join in at any point, it's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. And my sister has had a nice birthday. I know it was a few days ago. As I say, I sent her a little bit of money. Martin, her dear husband, is going to take her out shopping next week. I don't know what he's going to get her. I've no idea, but apparently the loving, doting husband is taking her out shopping and get her something then. Let me think. Her friend Kim I've written it all down here. Don't worry. Her friend Kim got her a massage at the Golf Hotel. So I hope you enjoy that. I've never had a massage. Well, I have sort of sometimes when I'm DJing. Not, I hasten to add recently, but in past times when I was a little bit younger, I used to have people stand behind me and massage my neck. That was all very nice. It's all stopped. It's all stopped now. My little nephew, the 11-year-old Jimmy, he bought her a pair of earrings. Very nice. My niece Tracy bought her a handbag. A handbag. Now this I find quite surprising, dear sister, because I put you more of in the tracksuit type. One of the girls, you know, those girls that don't have the handbags, you walk around with carry bags. Everything's in a carry bag. A bit chavvy. I hope you don't mind me saying that, Shell. But you do come across as a bit chavvy, dear. And I can't see you with a handbag. If you have now got a handbag, that means you are turning into Nanny. Nanny Hayes in particular. Now, Nanny Hayes, boys and girls, I had two nans, of course. There was Nanny Hayes and Nanny Ryan. And Nanny Hayes, well, no, both of them, they always had handbags. But for some reason, you are now, I think, dear sister, turning it into Nanny Hayes. And my other nephew and his girlfriends, Gary and Stacey, they bought my sister for her birthday a day at one of those health spas, which was quite nice. I was trying to listen to my sister on the phone last night, asking her all about this. And apparently it's an all-day thing, and they get there and they have breakfast. Well, I said, what's the breakfast? And what she said, it's a buffet. So I assumed, there'd be big silver plates of eggs and bacon and sausages. Oh, no. Cereal and muesli? Like the Alpen stuff. I mean, not... I mean, I do have that sort of thing. I do have cereal here. I usually have porridge. Oh, I've started eating bran flakes again, with some fruit on it. But now and again, I might have a fry up, sausage, egg. But when you're out, when you're away somewhere in a hotel or something like that, you don't want Alpen, do you? And you don't want bran flakes. Or just spat onto the microphone. How vile is that? You want full English breakfast, don't you? Am I wrong? Am I wrong, sis? Come on, tell me you weren't disappointed when you went down to breakfast and didn't find the full English. I can't believe that. And then after that, they do some detoxing. I've no idea what that is. Detoxing. And then they went in, there's a nice pool there. And then she said they went to sleep for a while. I don't understand that. So you'd pay all that money. Obviously you didn't, because it was a present. But you pay all that money to go to a health spa, and then you go to sleep there, dear. You could have done that at home for nothing. You know me, love. I'm not one to waste money, dear. So she had a very nice time with that, and we'll find out from her next week, indeed, what Martin gets for her birthday, okay? More news of my sister a little bit later on in the show today, because I've got something else to tell you. And I've continued watching that 4-hour Olympics Games ceremony, which is just marvellous. It goes on and on. I've actually finished watching it now. As I said on the last two shows, I'm so impressed. This time, I got as far as watched the whole thing. I was impressed in particular. I've made notes. I make notes, you see. There's there was this big scroll. I hope you saw the Olympic Games and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Right at the beginning, this enormous, scroll type thing was laid out on the dance floor, on the floor of the main arena. And this thing was enormous, and it opened up. And it was very, very clever, because I don't know how they did it, but the whole thing looked like it was continually opening up. And the scroll was revealing another picture. But it wasn't actually doing that. The actual image thing was projected by various lights onto this marvellous scroll, and it was ever so clever. Ever so clever how they did it. There were dancers, and then they had dancers laying on the floor and kind of, flat on. We're talking about laying flat on the floor, and they were painting with their body parts. Very, very clever indeed. We saw the 3,000 Confucius disciples, because apparently, that bloke, the Chinese bloke, Confucius. I can never say that. Confucius. Is it Confucius? Is that how you say it? He was, I think, a prophet in China, and he had 3,000 disciples, and there were loads of people dressed with these these very special hats that they had on, with it was how can I explain? It was like a load of straw coming out of their head. It was fantastic costumes, and they're all so well dressed. And we had some people earlier on in this show, of course, in the blue costumes, and they had then. They were showing different aspects of China throughout the history. And one of the things they invented, I believe, was the printing block. And onto the main arena floor came what looked like the most enormous printing block you have ever seen in your life. And this thing was going up and down. making different shapes, and you thought it was just a great big model. And at the end of that particular part of the show, people came out of the little bits of printing block. It was so clever. But the thing is with the Chinese, how on earth do they get to do it all together in complete harmony? And I do believe that is that is one of the mottos of the Olympics. And indeed the Chinese people, harmony. They are all together. Everything moves at the same time. It's just so clever. As I say, there were puppets. There were lots of puppets. There were these boys dressed in blue with paddles, and they formed different huge shapes on the arena. And these paddles were beautiful pieces of art. Beautiful, beautiful works of art that apparently were really heavy. And all these muscle lads were on there, you know, with the paddles. Of course, you can imagine me. I was glued to the television watching this lot. Now, they reckon there were 4 billion people around the world watching the opening ceremony. I mean, which is marginally more, I think, than the amount of people watching or indeed listening to the show. Only just. There were 4 billion people watching this show, and it was just all fantastic. And the other thing I noticed with most of the people on the who were involved in it, they always seemed to be smiling. Anyone else notice that? They always seem to be smiling. I'm indeed loving all the Chinese music. It's like ding dong, ding dong, and it's just fantastic. I love that Chinese music. The red and gold pillars, I was impressed by those. These great big pillars that moved with someone on the top there. There was a pianist, beautiful pianist, very famous apparently in China. People with little lights on them. Again, what looked like to be thousands, not hundreds, thousands of people all dancing around with little lights all over them that changed colour. So clever. There was the karate boxing thing now. I think it was called Tai Chai or something like that. They were very good, the people doing that. And at the end, they had a Chinese singer whose name I can't remember, I'm afraid, and Sarah Brightman, and they had me in tears. They absolutely had me in tears. Because what happened is a big globe then came out, just this massive, great big globe, which was slowly, or looked like it was turning. I have a feeling it was more lighting effects, but this thing looked like it was turning. And there were dancers running around the outside of the globe and underneath and on top and flying on strings so that they looked like, they looked like they were flying. Simple as that. It was very hard. I mean, occasionally you did see a rope or something, but you had to look really hard to spot it. And there was Sarah Brightman and this other singer on the top there singing. Unbelievable. And then, to add to that, this whole globe just started moving around the stadium. Astronomical what they'd done with that. Astronomical. And that's it, really. Now, I've of course recorded it, and I've got it on my hard disk recorder downstairs. But I think I'd like to have a copy of that, and I'm hoping that the opening to the Chinese Olympics will come out on DVD, and I shall certainly buy that. So there we are. That's the opening for the Chinese Olympics, which I've at last got through. I'm afraid it does take me quite a while to watch a whole TV programme, especially one that's like 4 hours like that. It's a bit long to watch the whole thing. Fantastic. I'm just so impressed with the Chinese doing that. Really impressed indeed. Email address to the show once again. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Right, into the emails then, because we don't want to fall behind again like we did on the last few shows. As you know, we've had about five shows worth of emails to get through recently, so we're going to try and keep up with those now. One more thing about the Olympics. After that show, we then had all the Olympics athletes. That's it. We had all the athletes come out. And some of them, as I say, most of them, in fact, got beautiful, different coloured dresses, and each team seems to have their own sort of clothing regime, and some people were in traditional clothing. And some people were very, very smart, and some people were, they were okay. But you could see even little countries, going to great efforts to make their athletes look good as they come on this opening walkabout type thing. And there they are with big flags, this, that. And then I was so disappointed when Team GB came out. I have to say, in the simplest of white suits. Now, I can just about accept that. It just didn't look like money had been spent on the Olympic team for GB, for the United Kingdom, or for Great Britain. Right? They look smart. Okay, don't get me wrong. There was a young lad, the young 14-year-old lad, who unfortunately, I can't remember his name now. He's recently didn't do too well in the swimming with his partner who was doing the swimming with. He came out and he was all smiling. How fantastic it must be to be a 14-year-old person, come out there in front of all those people doing the Olympic walkabout thing. Fantastic. But this is what got me. They were waving plastic flags. I looked at this thing and I couldn't believe it. All those other athletes had proper little flags with material. They didn't look plastic to me. But as soon as I saw the British athletes, they were waving little plastic flags. The same sort of thing. It's just dreadful. The same sort of thing that you go and buy. I mean, I've had some myself. You would go and buy these things in a tourist shop in London and you'd wave them about. Plastic flags. I ask you, did the British Olympic team, come on, you could have done better than plastic flags, couldn't you? I mean, even this, I've got a Union Jack here in the studio behind me. It's not plastic, dear. You could have spent some money on some proper flags. I'm just horrified with that. I really am horrified. Did anyone else notice that? The British plastic flags. Do me a favour. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is the email address, all right? Here come some emails for today, then. First of all, hang on. Suko. Suko sent me a large package, okay, a couple of weeks ago. And how stupid am I, right? I started opening it 2 shows ago, didn't I? At the end of the show and ran out of time. And I said, I'll open it on the next show. Well, that was 2 shows. I completely forgot about it. Suko actually had to write me a letter and remind me. I'm so stupid. It's because I've been ploughing my way through all of these bits and pieces. Now, where's the email gone? I think I put her a little bit further towards the back because I intended to open the thing at the beginning. There we are. Look, here we go. From Suko there. She says, oh my gosh, my package. Don't go reading anything into that now, Chris. Thanks for reading all my emails on the show, but you didn't open the package I sent you, which you had promised to open at the beginning of the next show. I know. Did you forget about it, Suko? Yeah. I'm sorry. You know what my mind's like, dear. I have got Alzheimer's. It is starting to set in now, but please forgive me. Please forgive me. Let me... Oh, that's the wrong word, isn't it? Please forgive me, Suko. Please, darling. She said, Chris, to be honest, I'm not bothered at all that you take a while to read out my emails. I've had my 15 minutes of fame, if you know what I mean. You can have more fame than that, Suko. You are a professional email writer. Please carry on, dear. You read them when you have time. It's all quite right. So thank you very much, my darling. Let me see then. So let's see what is in this little package from Suko. And it kind of her to send this in. First of all, we've got a little letter here, which I think I read. I'll read it again, because you might have missed it. It was so long ago now. We might have new people who have joined. If you are new to the show, welcome along. Thank you very much for your viewing and listening. Hi, Chris. Enclosed are some CDs, DVDs, as well as some postcards from Provincetown, Massachusetts, on Cape Cod. I met a couple of the bare naked lads. Pwah. Bet you had a good time there, did you? Bet your eyes were popping out your head, Suko. They were so sweet. I'll email pics I took of them if I ever download them. Yeah, we're still waiting for the pictures of those lads. Please hurry up and send them. If I ever download them. Waiting for Jerry to install my new computer. Now, I already had a look through the stuff here. Where are we? The bare naked lads flyer is here somewhere, isn't it? It's here somewhere. I'll see if I can find that in a minute. Where have I put that now? Oh, I might have taken it. I'm sure, didn't you have a flyer in there? Or what's this? The French... no, hang on a minute. It's here somewhere. Oh, I'll have another look in a minute. I'll have a look in a minute. They were so sweet, I'll email the pics. Also enclosed is the possible answer to the bald spot. Open the standard model first, and then the deluxe model. I don't know what she means here. Also enclosed a flyer for a Go Green programme local, and a schedule for my brother's theatre in Greenwich Village. Lots of love from Suko. So, let me see. Hang on. Oh, there we are. Here's the bare naked lads thing. She sends a flyer of the bare naked lads, but they're not, I'm glad to say they're not complete. I actually don't like complete nakedness, Suko. Do you? I like to have a little bit left to the imagination. And they have got some clothes on, I'm pleased to say. And they are performing, at the moment, it's a theatre thing, between June the 21st, right the way through to September the 14th, at the Post Office Cabaret in Commercial Street, which is, of course, in New York, isn't it? Let me see. Commercial Street. It must be in New York, yes. And it's got various pictures there of the flyer. There we are. There you can see the flyer on the picture screen. And it's 1, 2, 3. There are 5 lads, 4 white lads at the back and 1 black lad at the front. And they've all got, like, very, very short shorts. I'm sure some of them are performing in their underpants, dear. What's going on there? Performing in underpants. So thank you for that. Now, here come the possible solutions to my increasing bald spot in the middle of my head, which I'll just show you. See, it's kind of, I'm just putting my head closer to the camera. I know you can't see, but it is not too bad, to be honest. Hang on a minute. Let's give you a bird's eye. We don't care anymore. We don't care anymore. Let's give you a bird's eye view. If I lift this camera, right there we are. That's it. Oh. Well, perhaps it is as bad as I thought. Hang on a minute. It's funny, though, when you touch the bald spot, it still feels to me like there's hair there. Isn't that strange? You know, I don't wish to make light of this, but it's almost like, you know, when people have their limbs very sadly amputated, not to be made fun of course, when people have their limbs amputated, sometimes they can still feel the limb there, even though it's not there. Well, when I touch my head, it does still feel that the hair's still there, even though it's not. How weird is that? Right, let's see what she's sent us. Incidentally, technical people who are watching the show may like to know that the show today is being recorded on the brand new computer. Okay, so we're seeing how we get along with that. I'm also recording the show in a bigger picture. It's something I can do with the new computer I couldn't do with the older one. Whether that will improve the quality or not, I won't know till I finish the show, uploaded it, and had a look myself. So we'll see if it makes any difference. Has it made it? Does it look any different to you at all? If it does, please let us know. Usual email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Right, opening the first, it says on the envelope here, open first, solution to hair loss problem, standard model. See, she puts it all in a nice little brown bag. Let's have a look what's in here. Oh, it's one of those Jewish caps. I hope the Jewish people... I think it's one of those Jewish caps. If you're Jewish, I hope you're not offended by this. I'm not being sacrilegious or anything. But Suko, I don't know. You see, the trouble is I'm not Jewish. Is it right? Have we got any Jewish people listening? You can't actually become Jewish, can you? You have to be born into it, I believe. So that's the first answer. I'm not sure about that, Suko, really. I don't want to upset people of other religions or anything like that because I respect all religions. What do you think? Is that working for you? I don't think that's working, Suko. I don't know, darling. So we'll have to see about that. Thank you, Suko. It's another little thing that's going to go on my wall, my darling. We love it. We love all these bits and pieces. Now, here we go. Open second, solution to hair loss problem, deluxe model. I'm looking forward to this, dear. Look how she wraps everything up. So, oh, it looks like this is the most dreadful thing. It's a bat mitzvah. A BATMITZVAH. From the Hannah Michael. This must be another. Is this another Jewish thing? We'll just put this one on. I don't know if it's. Oh, hang on. No, this one's a bit better. What do you think? It's hard to keep it on. I'll tell you what it is. It's like the Jewish hat. I'm really sorry. I don't know what it's called. It's like but it's also got hair stuck on top. Now, I'm going to put it on. I'm really sorry. Obviously, if you're listening, you can't see this, but I'm going to put it on my head now. Now, if you want to watch the video side of this, then you can do so also by going to the main United Kingdom Talk website, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, all right? unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Look for the show dated August the 19th, 2008, and there you will be able to see me with this little like hat type thing on, and it's got hair stuck on. Now, I want you to be honest with me, viewers. Does it look like I've got anything on my head? Or does it blend in naturally with my own hair? I'm looking at myself now, because I can look at myself now on the picture, and do you know what? I think it works. I do think it works. It's kind of... Yeah, I don't think you can see at all the join, can you? I mean, I don't know how you've managed to do it, Suko, but you've actually managed to match up the colours and everything, dear. How marvellous is that? I don't think you can see the join at all. Do you know, I might even go out tonight and wear this while I'm working. The only thing is I've got a feeling, or we can try this out now, actually, if I put headphones on and then take them off quickly, it'll drop off. Oh, Suko, you've made me laugh today. Thank you very much, dear. I do treasure all these. Will all be going up on the wall behind me. Don't worry about that. What else we've got here? We've got the flyer for the Go Green programme. I think that's this thing here, is it? Let's have a look. No, that's not it. The Go Green programme. Oh, here we are. Look at this. Come to a solar energy and home efficiency programme. And they're having this Go Green thing. Where is this? At the Rockville Centre. Bring the sun's power into your home and make your house a star. So obviously in the States now, I'm glad to see they are now starting to push this whole solar energy thing. And as you know, regular viewers and listeners to the show will know I do have solar panels here on my house, and it has made an enormous difference to my electricity bills. I told you in the last show, my electricity bill is about £12 a month. Okay, my neighbour, a little bit further down, hers is £70 a month, 70. So it has made a huge difference, and I'm not even south-facing here, I'm south-west-facing. And, yeah, so they've obviously had this thing, which has happened now, has it? August the 12th. Did you go to that, this solar energy thing? Did you go to that, Suko? Tell me if you did, my darling. And I'd like to know all about that. So thank you for that. I've got some Jade's 2008 dance competition DVD, which I shall watch. I've got a lovely... Oh, this looks good. Tropical jungle sound effects. a CD. Now, you know me, don't you? You know me so well. I will actually listen to this. Experience the exotic sounds of the lush Amazon rainforest. Actually, while we're reading it, when we can put it on and have a listen. I bet this is nice. 1 minute. Oops, what have I done? There we are. I've just, let me put these things over here. I bet this is good. 1 minute. Why talk about it when we can actually listen? That's what I say. Here we go. Right, hang on. Can you hear anything? I can't hear anything. 1 minute. Oh, yeah, there we go. Can you hear that? It's a bit quiet, isn't it? Now let me run it forward a little bit and see if we can find a little bit more jungle noises. But it's yeah, can you hear that? Very quiet in the background, isn't it? Sounds like a thunderstorm, doesn't it? I move forward a bit. Hang on. Let's see if we can. I think it's just the one track. I don't know if we've got any birds singing or like thinking or something like that. That always sounds quite good in jungles, doesn't it? 1 minute. Let's run that forward a bit. Stay there. Stay there. Don't go away. I'm just running it forward. Here we are. Let's try this. Ah. Oh, we like that. Do you like that? Listen. Oh, I'm liking that. I think we should leave that on for the rest of the show. What do you reckon, Suko? That is beautiful. Anyway, let me read it what it says on the CD. Experience the exotic sounds of the lush Amazon rainforest, a sound portrait of one of nature's most dynamic and diverse environments. Overhead parrots fly from tree to tree. After a sudden storm, a jaguar purrs contently. The beautiful melody of the musician wren floats in the air, while the howl... Oh my God. Did you hear the lion? While the howler and spider monkeys romp through the dense magical forest, a rare environmental sound adventure. Thank you very much for that, Suko. That's a lovely thing. I'm going to have that on in the car on the way to work later on. Shall we leave it on? Does that kind of work, or what? Should we leave it on that? I can pretend that I'm coming to you from the Amazon rainforest or something like that. Thank you. There is somewhere I'd love to visit, the Amazon rainforest. I've been very lucky, of course, a couple of years ago, to go to the Daintree rainforest in Australia, which is just so diverse and fantastic in there. Thank you, Suko. And she sent me something else for the computer as well. So thank you very much for those bits and pieces, Suko. It's much appreciated. Now... there is a postal address to the programme. I'm not asking people to send things. If you want to send things in, that's fine. You can do. I'm not begging people to send things in there. Don't start sending money or things like that. We'll get into such trouble, dear, if you start doing that. All right. But if you ever want to put pen to paper, you can do so. There is a postal address to the show, which I shall read in a couple of minutes' time. So grab a pen and paper. Okay. Let's hello to Catherine. Hello, Catherine. Catherine and Suko are now in a competition to see who can get me on the radio or television first where they are. Okay? Or indeed here, I don't know. First of all, from Catherine, our friend Catherine, she says, I've been going crazy here, just catching up on your show. And she says, tell me, if I had to submit 3 of your shows to someone, which would you choose? Now, she says, number 1 for me is Rhinestone Cowboy. She said, that was love at first sight. Please choose another 2 for me. Just give me the dates of the shows and I'll get them off YouTube. Well, the thing is, it's difficult. I find it very difficult to listen or watch myself. This is where, say, a producer... there's a bit of hair hanging down from that wig, I think. I keep seeing this bit of hair going in front of my eye. This is where a producer would come in. You see, while I'm sitting here doing the show, I am kind of in the zone, if you see what I mean. If you're in the zone, it's difficult to see everything around you. If you are just outside the zone, which of course you yourself, Catherine, and indeed anyone else watching or listening to the show is, you can see a lot more. Therefore, I can't choose a show for you. Very, very difficult. It's much better that you, as the listener or viewer, choose the shows that you think are the best. Very difficult for me to choose a good show, especially when I have such a low opinion of them all anyway. So I'll have to ask you to do... I can't help you with that, Catherine. Sorry, my darling. Very difficult for me to choose that. She said, one thought maybe you can get input on. You know I love your show and I'm so happy that it's 1 hour long. You said... that said, I think there may be a problem with viewing for me on YouTube or Current. My computer, mouse, etc. do funny stuff sometimes, and your show has to reload. Then, after watching for, say, 40 minutes, I have to start all over, which is not bad, she says, but sometimes I have no time. Would you ever consider splitting the show into quarters when you upload, like 15-minute segments? Maybe I'm the only one with this problem. In this case, disregard. Thank you, Catherine. I don't know why you have to reload the whole thing. We have a lot of people on here who are technically able, and I wonder if one of you can help Catherine. She says, as I say, she says, after watching the show for a period of time, say, for example, 40 minutes, she has to start over again because it has to reload. Is there a way around that? Is she doing something wrong? Because I don't know. Perhaps someone could help her there. Do let us know, please, all right? Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'm sure, Catherine, someone will come across with the answer to that one, all right, my darling? Hello to Monica, who says, just catching up on the show. She's been very busy here. She said, we need more Reardon in the world. Well, I don't know about that, dear. Can you imagine more than 2 or 3 of me walking around the planet? That could be scary. She says, I love your views on China and the Olympics. Yes, as I say, they've done such a good job of those Olympics. Such a really good job. And I do think it's a very misunderstood country. I really do. And I think the powers that be in other places are frightened of losing money on, for example, goods, because China can chuck them out so cheap. And I sometimes wonder how many stories you hear about certain things, not just countries, but whatever. How many of the stories are true, and how many of them do people want you to believe to make you think something about somewhere else? I do wonder that sometimes. She says, Pringles in coffins. Oh, Pringles as coffins. String cheese. She said, stop worrying about your weight. Thank you, Monica. Great to hear from you, my darling. Let me just sort my bits of paper out. I'm getting a little bit confused here. Now, got to say hello to David. Now, David, I've been going through some of the old emails, and this one popped up, and I'm sure I haven't read it, so I'm going to read it again. David is a regular friend and listener to the show, who sent me a picture of a large spider. Large spider. During your show in late June, I got that itchy ear again. During your shows in late June, you talk about spiders, about spiders, both intrigued and fascinated me. So with all this spider talk, I thought you might have been interested in hearing about my own strange little spider experience. It happened about 3 to 4 years ago when I awoke in the middle of the night to a rather painful earache, along with some rather itchy ears. Now, I get itchy ears, as you know. Well, being as I have had issues in the past with earaches, I felt to ignore the problem, as opposed to seeking medical attention immediately. Well, after suffering from an earache for about 5 days, I was sick and tired of this pain, So I made an appointment to see a doctor about it in fear that it was some sort of infection that will require antibiotics. Now, that's exactly where I am at the moment. I do feel, actually, David, that I ought to go down to the doctors and get some eardrops for these itchy ears, because I'm sure I've got a little bit of a problem in there. Also, I've noticed when I walk, when I step down sometimes on my left foot, Dave, you can kind of feel it in your ear, which I wasn't able to do so before, so that's a bit odd as well. David said, well, the day before the appointment, I felt a rather intense rush of pain that seemed to be creeping down my ear. As I slowly sat out the pain, it eventually dissipated, and I felt a tickle coming down my ear. Well, after feeling a rush of pain, I wasn't too inclined to want to scratch my ear in fear of it starting the pain up again. Well, after about a minute of tickling, I noticed this sensation was actually moving down my ear. Well, I didn't manage to get access to a mirror and found that a spider was in fact the cause of my pain. Oh my God! Oh, that's awful, Dave. That is just awful. Apparently, it decided to make a temporary nest in my ear, which it didn't like too much after an extended period of time. Well, I saw the doctor the next day to ensure that the spider never left any residual damage, but it looked like everything was perfectly fine. However, after that terrible experience, I still love spiders. Oh my God, that's the most awful thing, to see something crawling out of your ear. Oh dear. In fact, they are still my favourite species on this planet. It's kind of amazing. At some time of these things, these little creatures are actually. It's kind of amazing some of the things that these little creatures are actually capable of. It's a shame that I can't afford to purchase a pet tarantula. What's wrong with you, Dave? But I do have a few cats that tend to be almost as cunning as a spider at times. Yeah, mine too. I have attached a photo of myself with my old tabby cat Joe. Yeah, I saw that picture. It's a nice picture. I thought you might find some enjoyment in it. Anyway, got to run. Hope you enjoyed the tale from Dave. Oh, Dave. Oh, I'm going to have to sleep with earbuds in or something like that now. Has anyone else ever got an insect in their ears? Oh, no. I don't like it. Don't like. Hello to Wayne Anonymous, who's been a bit quiet of late, haven't you, Wayne? And Wayne writes, Chris, he says, bed knobs and broomsticks. Remember I was singing that? Was it the last show or the show before? It's lovely bobbing along on the bottom of the beautiful briny sea, fast from the frenzy of the flounder and the cod. I love it. Chris, bed knobs and broomsticks. This sounds like the first movie you went to see was a bondage and discipline X-rated film. It certainly wasn't. None of that here, I have, you know. Wayne, what is wrong with you? What sort of man do you think I am? There goes United Kingdom Talks family. This is a family show and we will not be discussing things like that. Thank you very much. He says, was the second movie you attended entitled Fun with... I'm not even going to read the title, Wayne. This is a family programme, dear. What is your problem today? What is your problem? He says, oh my, I've just realised that the message on your telephone answering machine says Chris is unable to speak with you this time as he is all tied up. Pardon? What are you saying? One can only wonder what you have stored in your garden shed. Perhaps the odd leather item and a riding crop. I don't ride horses. What do you mean? Why would I go on a horse? Any day, paparazzi will be lurking in the shrubs, surrounding the Mirable studio with telephoto lenses and long-range directional microphones, hoping to record cracking sounds and squeals of joy. Not to be, of course, confused with joy from Acton, dear. Perhaps we have stumbled across the idea for a new daytime gay soap opera titled something like Do It or Else. Another position for me to apply for in Reardon Town, Director of Artistic Endeavours. Possibly. Wayne also says, I just signed in at Terry Turner's guest book per your request. I advised Terry that he owes you 50 pence for every United Kingdom Talk listener who visits and signs in at his website. You must make up for lost income for the closing of the Tarnished Lion. Yes, the garnished is probably right. The Golden Lion is tarnished, is closed. It's closed, isn't it? If there's anything else your listeners can do, is there anything else your listeners can do to assist in this time of financial hardship? Feed the cats first. You can afford to lose a stone or two. Wayne, I thought you was a close companion and friend. Afford to lose a stone or two. Thank you to Wayne Anonymous for those. Afford to lose. Don't you think I know I can afford to lose a stone? Oh, it's all started again. Just when I was getting used to the idea that I am a little bit over. Oh, Wayne, you're cruel to me. Cruel, cruel, cruel. Now, here comes the address. Are you ready? For putting pen to paper, here's the address. It is Chris Reardon, United Kingdom Talk, P.O. Box 4073, Bracknell, Bracknell, RG429ED. Once again, are you ready? It's Chris Reardon, United Kingdom Talk, P.O. Box 4073, Bracknell, Bracknell, RG429ED, United Kingdom. All right. You want to send in a letter? That's the address you use. As indeed Susan did. Well, Susan used the email, of course. Hi, Chris. I'm very sorry to hear about Bruno. I loved it when you showed Bruno is my sister's dog, okay? I loved it when you showed all your sister's dogs on your show. Bruno, Susan says, is my favourite. I love his colour and his face shows all of his emotions. Yes, we did do a show from my sister's house. Now, I will quickly try now and look this up. And I'll tell you, where's the... I've lost on the computer screen now. Where's that gone? Something's missing. There it is. I couldn't find my little Firefox icon then. Now let me just look this up for you. And if you want to have a little look at Bruno the dog, he does appear near the beginning of one of the shows. I'll give you the date to look it up in a minute. Anyway. Loved his colour and his face showed all his emotions. I hated to hear that he is ill. Yes, sir, he's had leukemia. I hope the steroids worked for him. Did the vet give steroid pills in pill form or by injection? I think it was in pills. I'll find out. The injections do seem to work better. Now, let me just look this up now. And I will find this for you. So anyone else that wants to have a little look at Bruno the dog can go online and look it up. Now, let me see. Let me find the show. Say all wonderful things. Or where is it? Is it that one? No, it's not that one. It's not that one. Oh, I think it must be. Is it one of the July shows? 1 minute. Because we're in August now, aren't we? Possibly one of the July shows. No, not that one. Not that one. There it is. Okay. It's United Kingdom Talk, Thursday, the 24th of July, 2008. That's the one you want there. Okay. You can find that by going to unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Okay. unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. On the left-hand side, you'll see dates. Okay. You want to go to July 2008. and scroll down to the show. That is dated Thursday, the 24th of July. That's the show I recorded from my sister's garden. And there you can see Bruno the dog does make an appearance in that. He's the first dog that comes up and jumps up onto the lap. Beautiful, beautiful colour, white and brown he is. Susan says, I'm not a vet, but I've worked with some tigers that have had various kinds of cancer. And my sister's dog also had leukemia. But my sister had an English bulldog. Oh, lovely those dogs, aren't they? They are not a very hardy breed like Bruno is. She might try feeding Bruno quite a bit of liver. Do you know, it's funny you should say that. That is exactly what she did. She kept giving him liver. The iron in it might help buck him up a bit, and I'm sure he would enjoy it. Hopefully the steroids will work for Bruno. He will be in my thoughts and prayers every day. We can hope that Bruno has a lot of healthy and happy times ahead of him. Please keep us informed of how Bruno is doing. And that's from Susan. And indeed, Susan, I did, of course, pass your email on to my dear sister, and she has responded to it. So, of course, you now know, but other people don't. I'm afraid that Bruno had to be put down because he did become very ill shortly after I received that letter. Oh, I'm sorry, that's got to me, that has. Such a lovely dog. Really very, very friendly. The times dogs sometimes they get a little bit agitated. My cats, one of my cats, actually the younger one doesn't. The older cat, she gets a bit agitated sometimes and has a bit of a moan. But Bruno the dog never once moaned. He was always sort of reasonably happy and such a lovely pet. And I'm afraid last week he had to be put down, which is a great shame, really. Because my sister, she loves animals. She absolutely loves animals. And you couldn't fault her when it comes to the animals. And she's still got 2 cats and no 2 dogs. She's got Duchess and I can never remember the other name of the other one. Duke, Duchess and Duke, which are 2 black Labradors, and she's also got 4 cats in the house, and they're so well cared for, you just don't know. They really are. My sister loves her animals, and she was on the phone to me last week. She went with the vet. She went to the vets with her husband Martin, and she couldn't go into the vets. Martin had to take Bruno into the vets because he was doing the steroids. She said he wasn't moving, and he had no quality of life whatsoever. And she went to the vets with her husband. She stayed in the car. When Martin took the dog in, she rang me straight away, and she was, just crying down the phone. It was all very sad. And of course it is so sad when you lose a pet. The pet was with her for 8 years. She didn't have him as a puppy. She rescued him from somewhere else where he was badly treated. When she rescued that dog, he had been badly treated. But for those 8 years, he had a really good life. Oh dear. I'm sorry, you shouldn't really see this. But he had a really, really good life for those 8 years that he was with my sister. So, Sharon, if you do watch this programme, that dog couldn't have had a better life. Those last 8 years, at least, he couldn't have had a better life. And I would find it very hard. I've never had to make the decision to have an animal taken away from its misery. I've not had to make that decision. You know, one of my cats, the old one, Tiny, she's very old now. She does sometimes have trouble walking, and I hope this doesn't sound nasty, but I hope she dies rather than me have to make a decision like that. I hope she goes first. Perhaps one day I'll go and she won't have woken up, and that would be better for me, not necessarily for her. But I find that very hard to make that decision. And it's always hard. I'm sure there are some people watching at the moment who have had to make that decision before. And a pet becomes a member of your family, doesn't it? It really does. Bruno was a lovely dog and had a good last 8 years of its life because of I know I've my jokes about my sister. You know when I'm talking and I'm joking and what have you. But she really loved or loves animals, and she was so upset last week. So I'm sorry to bring you that bad news towards the end of the show this week, but Bruno, I'm afraid, no longer with us. All right. Email address, once again, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I know there might be one or two of you that might want to perhaps write to my sister by email. If you want to put this is for Sharon, your sister, at the beginning of your email, I will, of course, forward any of those on. Okay, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, the email address. Now, we're not going to get through all the emails. surprise as always. Hello to Gloria. And Gloria says, Gloria in Florida, who says, hi, Chris, on one of your shows you asked how long people have been listening and emailing you. It took a little bit of digging, but I found the answer. Now, Gloria in Florida, along with her husband and her lovely daughter, have been listening, her husband Bruce, of course, have been listening since late November 2005. Wow. Now, we actually started these shows in October 2005, so you've been with us a long time, haven't you, Gloria? She said, Bruce's first email was in December of 2005, and my first email to you was in January of 2006. Gloria. Where does the time go? So thank you very much for that, Gloria, for letting us know. I think Gloria and Bruce are possibly our longest listeners to the show. I think that's going to be about right. Thanks for that, Gloria. And finally, from Ross. You read out from Ross in Norwich, who's doing his own podcast. We will get him. In fact, I'll save this for the next show, Ross, okay? Your email. He's doing his own talk podcast now, and we will be talking to him on the show very shortly, okay? Time for me to go now. Thanks, as always, for the emails. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is the email address. I'll see you on the next show. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye now.